Righto, today we're looking at the RE45864 genuine John Deere hydraulic oil filter. And a whole lot going on in the box. John Deere, made in India. Details on there. This one here, I've actually already had this one open, but shouldn't be much of a worry for you guys. Comes in plastic, but not sealed in plastic, just a bag to stop much bad things getting in there, I suppose. What do we got on the can? This can feels quite nice actually, pretty decent. John Deere. Tightening instructions. It's like a little Donaldson logo there, it'd be made by Donaldson, this one. So I did have a nice ring here that I've cut off, crimped across there. Not bad. It comes loose with this O-ring, which is a bit interesting. Fairly thin, small little O-ring. You'd think that if you're doing that up the wrong way, you might possibly get pinched in the housing a bit. I know some other brands of this filter have more of a thick sort of formed O-ring, but I don't seem to have much issues with them. The head, quite thick, strong material there. Really nice and decent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes. Nice and big, let a fair bit through. We've got decent amount of thread on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, not bad. Little baby sealing ring in there. That is not very thick at all, but it's there. Fits nice and snug around the housing. Reckon it would seal pretty well against there. Yeah, not bad. So I said, housing really nice and solid. That'd be a bit less than 1 mil, probably 0.9, but it feels a bit better. Got a little bit of a rust tint in there. Not quite sure how long this one's been sitting around for, but a little bit of rust. It's not really coming off from my fingers, so I'm not 100% sure if that's rust or decent coil spring. It's very hard. It's very strong indeed. That's probably one of the hardest springs I've seen. Right, in terms of the canister, really quite large, big and solid. Very solid metal end caps there, nice metal seam. It's a bit of a shame to see these so far away, but that's fairly standard in a lot of things. Fair bit of glue in there. Wouldn't be worried about it not being sealed. Got a bit of leakage here too. Not anywhere it's really going to cause much of an issue. No bypass valve in this one either. Not a lot of the John Deere filters seem to have bypass valves in them. Synthetic media. So this would be the Donaldson synthetic hydraulic filter media. Have a closer look at that later. We'll get it apart and have a look at that. Right, so I got the media cut off. Synthetic media. I reckon it'd be micro glass with not steel, but mesh backing. It's a total of 2.6 meters in length. And we got 110 mil. And this is the width. It's got a bit of metal backing on it, so 1.3 mil. It's quite fragile. It's very easy to cut through. I'm a bit surprised at how easy it was to cut through, but nonetheless, I would trust it a lot more than your standard cellulose. But this, it's like steel reinforces it fairly nicely. It's a bit hard to see. Feels like roofing insulation. You can feel all the little bits of glass in it nearly. There's a few layers. Oh, it comes apart fairly well. I got a bit under the microscope here. You can see that pretty well. Yeah, it's not bad when you compare it to your standard cellulose. There's certainly a lot more there going on, a lot finer fibres, a lot more of them. It's going to stop a lot more particles and a lot smaller ones as well. In terms of the centre tube, standard crimped spiral, nice, and this is quite weighty actually. To measurement on there, just the spiral tube, it's 270 grams. It's a fair old weight in that. Considerable amount of glue in all of it too, hold it together nicely. The plates are overall fairly well spaced. There's just this one part here spaced out a little bit, but that synthetic media is really nice. Altogether, fairly good. O-ring's a bit of a strange design, but solid can, solid spring, solid centre tube, nice media. It's a pretty good filter. I wouldn't mind using it for sure.